We're at Monza, we're starting from the back of the grid. What could possibly go wrong? Well, to be honest, at the start of the race, quite a lot actually. If you put your foot down too early, you'll just end up understeering wide straight away out of Parabolica. But we've managed to get through there without any problems. It is a rolling start. It's a Group 1 race and we are in the Audi R18. So coming down towards turn number 1 then, is there going to be chaos? And we get on the brakes. It looks like everyone's got through relatively cleanly, to be honest. There is a car up ahead coming out of the first chicane quite slowly, but we've got through there okay. And to be honest, starting at the back of the grid is probably the safest place to be at turn 1 at Monza, I think, because you can just kind of pick your braking point. There's not much chance of anyone going into the back of you. But coming into the second chicane then, we were very close to being taken out there. And coming out of the chicane, the seas part like Moses, and we get past another 2 drivers, and we see Chris there making a big mistake, and then we've got another car going wide into the first Lesmo, and we're up to 13th place already. So absolutely crazy start to the race then, and we've gained a good 5 positions before we're even halfway around the lap. So we've got the German up ahead now, and it looks like we're gaining on him quite quickly here. Having a look behind to see whether the driver behind is coming into Ascari then, and seeing how much speed we can take through here. You do get quite a bit of dirty air following behind in these cars, because of course they do have quite high downforce. So coming out of Ascari then, we have lost a little bit of time to the German up ahead. So we're just going to skip forwards as we go through Parabolica and onto the start finish straight then, and seeing if we can potentially make a move down into turn 1. We're going to move out of the slipstream, but we're not really close enough, and I don't want to risk ruining our race on lap number 2 by going for a bit of a send into turn 1. So we're just going to have to bide our time here then a little bit behind the German. It's very important in this race to manage your battery, especially if you are in the Audi. So if you watch the braking zone here, you'll see I'm on the brakes before I come off the throttle, and this effectively just charges the battery a little bit, and you're going to see in just a minute exactly why we do this. So you do lose a little bit of time in the braking zone because you're slowing down a little bit earlier and losing a little bit of time, but you manage to recharge the battery much better than if you weren't doing that at all. So you'll see just how effective it is here. The driver ahead clearly hasn't managed the battery like I've been doing, we just drive past him in a straight line out of the exit of the second Lesmo then. So up into 11th place, and there's a bit of a gap to the cars up ahead. We're 8.5 seconds behind the leader of the race at this point as we come down into turn number 1, and as we turn in we get a yellow flag. So what's going on here, there's 2 cars out in the gravel on the right hand side, so we're up to 9th place now then, and we're well inside the top 10 then, and it's only lap number 3. So starting from the back of the grid has been, well, a relatively good decision so far. We've avoided any kind of chaos or carnage, and yeah, we've had a bit of luck obviously with drivers losing it and getting out of our way, but we're up into the top 10 now, so let's push on and see how far we can get in this race. We're just going to forward it then as we catch up to the next group on the road. Coming into Parabolica again, like I said before, getting on the brakes nice and early so we have enough of the battery for the rest of the lap on the following lap, and it looks like we're going to be quite close here then as we cross the start finish line. A short shift up to 6th gear. It's got quite a short ratio between 5th and 6th gear in this car, so it's worth short shifting just a little bit into 6th gear, and that's a nice easy one done before the braking zone down into turn 1 then. So up into 8th place now then, and you can see there's not really much of a gap between 4th to 7th place then, and then we are about a second and a half behind 7th. So if we can catch up to that group, we can definitely challenge for a few more positions in this race. And it also looks like 6th and 7th place are having a little bit of a battle between themselves, so we could possibly be in with a shout of catching up very quickly. And as we come out of Ascari then, we can see Jim, the Brit there, up in 6th place, has got himself a 1 second penalty. So I think he must have cut some of the chicane there going through Ascari, which is very easy to do, especially when you're having a bit of a battle with someone. So coming out of Parabolica then, and we're gaining a lot of time on the Italian driver up ahead, nearly understeering wide off of the track then, due to the dirty air you get from following so closely behind. So going down into turn 1 then, the car up ahead is going to have the slipstream of the car ahead of him. So we're unable to go for a move here. We just need to stay within touching distance and take the normal racing line. We have got a bit of a gap to the two cars behind us, but if there's any battling going on up ahead, we are going to start to come under pressure from them as well. So we need to try and get past these two ahead of us as quickly as we can. Coming into the second chicane there, and you can see the Italian taking a lot of curb on the inside, and it looks like we can go for a move here, but we suddenly noticed that he ended up with a half-second penalty. So the safe thing to do was back out of that, and you can see both of the cars up ahead have penalties. The car in front with a half-second and the car ahead of him with a 1 second. So we should be able to get past both of them here, and indeed we do. When they serve their penalties, we get past both of those two cars. So up into 6th place now then. There is a 2.5 second gap though, up to 5th place, Womble Boss, who is a decent driver, and in fact all of the top 5 drivers are quite quick, so it's going to be harder from this point onwards to start to catch up and make any further progress up the field, and we are around 10 seconds at the moment behind the leader of the race. So if you are enjoying the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, because it really does go a long way to keeping me motivated to continue making these videos and just making content for you to enjoy. So fast forwarding on a little bit then as we catch up to 5th place, and as we get into the second chicane we can see the Spaniard up ahead getting very wobbly coming through the exit. He must have taken just a bit too much curb. You really want to avoid that sausage curb on the right hand side if possible, and we get another move done. So up into the top 5 now then, really, to be honest, exceeding any kind of expectations I had of this race at all. So jumping forwards another 2 laps then onto lap 9, you can see we're still around about 1.3 behind Womble Boss up ahead, so we haven't really caught him that quickly, and we have both been catching the leader gradually. So only 8.5 seconds behind the leader of the race now, within a second and a half of Womble Boss up ahead, but you can see he does have a 1 second penalty. I think he just cut some of the chicane through Ascari, unfortunately, on the last lap. So a bit unfortunate for him because he was driving pretty well up until this point, but that promotes us up into 4th place now then. So just 1 spot off of the podium, 8 seconds behind the leader, but we are nearly 5 seconds behind 3rd place. So it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get any further up in this race. And as we come around Parabolica for the final time then, we end up finishing just 7.2 seconds behind the leader and 3.7 off the podium. Wow, I wasn't expecting to finish it 4th place, starting from the back of the grid there. I mean, this is a top split lobby. It's 11 PM, so yeah, it's a decent bunch of drivers. Obviously everyone races from the back of the grid in some of the lower lobbies, having a mess around on another account, but yeah, I was not expecting to be in 4th place after that one. So really enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed watching, and I will see you again soon in the next one.